that. And I just want to really quickly recognize some past OPAC members and some OPAC members who will be rotating off. David Yamamoto was on here for a long time, and I know he retired. So Bob Main, he was not here today. I think somebody said he might be vacationing in Florida. He will be, we'll have to find a new South Coast County Commissioner for his position. Jamie Faraday, I know you're rotating off. Thank you for all your service and all your work over the years. Walter Chuck, he cycled off a few meetings ago, and between COVID and meeting remotely and meeting in person, we just didn't get a chance to adequately thank Walter or any of these other folks. So just briefly, I want to say thanks and get it on the record. And Peggy, I know you were thinking of retiring, so thank you for filling in until we can find somebody for your position, or if you want to reapply, since you were only selected for one term so far. Is that correct? I think.
Yeah, she had a one-term appointment so far, so right. She is eligible.
Yeah. So you're eligible to reapply for a second term if you'd like. So totally up to you, but appreciate what you've done in your capacity as an OPAC member so far.
Thank you. I think I'll wait until you find a replacement for me. How's that?
Okay. Beware, you may be on here for 20 years. Just kidding. And also, I just want to recognize Jack Barth, Craig Young, and Gil Sylvia again for all the work they did on STAC for, well, I think that's pretty close to 20 years. 15 maybe. I can't remember. When was that, like 2009 when we were talking about wave energy?
It would have started with the Marine Reserves, I think, work, you know, the charge.
That's right.
But we don't actually have, I don't have any records of that. So I've had to pull them. Like, when were you first appointed? Maybe they're in the OPAC records. I'm sure they're somewhere, but.
Oh my gosh. Well, they have definitely served their time well. Carol, I'll turn it over to you. Do you have any other comments before I turn to Andy to think about scheduling?
No, just thank you everyone again for hanging in there, shuffling around, and thank you, Nick, for calling back in. Really appreciate you fitting us back in so we could take action on all the items we needed to. And Peggy, thanks for joining. It just, you know, we were very close on quorum today, and so appreciate everyone hanging in there with us. Yeah, I think the only other thing I would say is, yeah, Jamie and Peggy, you're not allowed to leave now because you're on the JRP, so you have to stay.
There we go. Andy.
Yeah, thank you. So I encourage the group to look at calendars for any major conflicts the last week of April or the first 2 weeks of November. Maybe we can get a cadence going where we try and hit those marks each year, and can potentially hold the dates ahead of time. And then in the case of need, we could schedule single topic specific meetings to handle things that come up in the interim. I mean, that's always been one of the things we've tried to do, is be flexible for meeting when we have a need and that we use people's time efficiently. So, but the last week of April and first 2 weeks of November, if we don't have any major flags in that time period, then I will go ahead and try and send around a scheduling poll to nail down some dates.
Yeah, Pacific Fishery Management Council meeting looks like it's scheduled for November 13th to 19th. So just a heads up, there might be a few of us that can't make it that week. So it's towards the end of that time period, but a heads up that.
Okay, so the last kind of portion of that second week would be problematic. Okay.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
wanted to point out also that this year, in 2025 in April, the Passover holiday falls over those last weeks of April. So just
Okay.
the first 2 nights are the most critical to not overlap with.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Oh, Laurel just confirmed that Jack was involved in August 2007. So, and that might not even be the oldest. I have a feeling she's searching some old emails.
Well, that's 17 years. Oh my gosh. Wow.
On scheduling, I would just put out again, I'm pulling up the Pacific Fishery Management meeting schedule. They have meetings booked out from 2024 to 2030. They have to schedule hotels and things, and that sounds crazy, but like if we can get these on our calendars in a general cadence, knowing that we're avoiding these, the council meetings and otherwise, I think that
Yeah.
could be really good and healthy for the council to do. Of course, not everyone's gonna be able to make every one, but I think that could be a good idea.
Yep. I agree.
And they
Okay.
have to do that because they have to rent out like half a hotel. And I think those
Right.
contracts they have to get in place like 5 years in advance. So
Yeah.
Well, we maybe don't have the same logistical challenges, but I do want to try and establish that cadence for us so it's less of a chore each year, and so that we can begin to develop that regular kind of a rhythm. So
And maybe at least meet in person once a year, if possible.
I'm gonna make that request to the agency. It's been
Yeah.
a tight year fiscally, and this
Right.
we do seem to be able to work effectively as a body in virtual, but that is not my preference. I will make that known.
Yeah.
I would much rather be seeing people in person. So
Yeah. It's always fun to catch up with everybody too. But I understand the Pacific Council is also dealing with some of those financial issues. So I appreciate you all hanging in there for an all-day meeting on virtual. I know it's not ideal, but you guys have done really great work. So thank you for that.
maybe I will amend my previous motion to write our letter to include funding for an in-person meeting of OPAC. Do we have quorum still?
And we have to all come wearing salmon hats.
Yep.
Okay, if there's nothing else, Andy, are we good?
I think we've accomplished it. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Andy and Mandy and Eva, for all your organization and facilitating, and all our agency staff for being here too.
Yeah, do a great job.
Thanks.
Thanks,
I hope
everyone.
my second meeting isn't like this. I went to 4 different places today. But I got it done.
Well done, Nick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. We do
Happy
appreciate
you,
holidays,
Nick.
everybody.
Take care.
Yeah. Happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.